LPGA just did everything that the WNBA should have been doing this season. They did it all correct in literally one day.
Caitlin Clark just inked a huge deal with the LPGA, and it's safe to say A'ja Wilson isn't staying silent. The announcement sent shockwaves through the WNBA world, and social media is erupting completely. One star's victory has become another's major problem, and this story proves it. I have to ask, was A'ja's response rooted in genuine frustration, or was it just simple envy? Okay, let's unpack the drama because the entire sports world is buzzing about this. Caitlin Clark, the undisputed star of women's hoops, a viewership machine, and an endorsement powerhouse, has secured a sponsorship with the LPGA Tour. Yes, you are hearing that correctly. This isn't just a single appearance or a quick photo session. It's a full contract. Wow. It's reportedly a multi-million-dollar agreement, complete with joint promotional events, brand features, and marketing rights that last straight through the 2026 season. This partnership connects her brand to women's golf, positioning her as a beacon of female achievement and sporting empowerment. The moment that press release was published, the web went into overdrive. Because while a majority of fans said good for her, she deserves it, others, including some well-known WNBA figures, were not quite as pleased. Enter A'ja Wilson. Now, A'ja never used Clark's name, she's far too savvy for that, but she didn't need to. A single tweet and bam, every sports outlet had a headline in minutes. So you're telling me you can miss shots and still get golf money now? That was the post. It was all it took. Instantly, her replies were swamped with fans commenting, "Just say Caitlin Clark's name." Because really, who else could she possibly mean? Caitlin Clark's very name is now a trigger for nearly half the league. Every action she takes, every contract she inks, every picture she shares, someone somewhere has a meltdown about it. And this LPGA contract took it to a new plane of existence. Let's be direct. Caitlin Clark has earned more in 2 years than most WNBA veterans earn in a full career. That is not a slight, it is simply a statement of fact. She is the marketing phenomenon the league was desperate for. The issue, however, is that her success continually makes other stars seem like background players in their own film. A'ja Wilson holds 2 MVP awards, several championships, and a list of accolades most athletes would dream of. Yet when it comes to brand deals, she is in a different stratosphere. That is the core reason this went viral. It is not just about the golf partnership, it is about a professional league that has been fractured right down the middle, between the established veterans and the fresh star power. Clark is the media's shiny new object. She's new, marketable, and adored by sponsors. Wilson is the embodiment of the grind, the superstar who dominated long before all the cameras arrived. So when the LPGA news broke, A'ja's tweet was more than just shade, it was a declaration of war, and it's hard to fault her for being irritated. The timing was terrible. She just finished a legendary season and received a tiny portion of the notice Clark gets for simply existing. It feels like A'ja wins a championship, and the news cycle goes, great. Now let's see Caitlin's latest Instagram post. That has to hurt, but that is also the state of sports today. It isn't just how skillfully you perform, it is about the number of eyeballs you command, and Caitlin Clark commands eyeballs unlike anyone.
In a previous video, how this Pro-Am event originally wasn't even going to be televised, but there were so many fans who were emailing the organization saying, how can we watch Caitlin? Can we come to the event? Can you live stream it? All of these things. And it ended up being put on television. And that was great. Fans were really excited about that. There was so much buzz online. She was trending on Twitter, all of the things. And the LPGA was promoting the crap out of this event. And they also did something really smart by pairing her up with their currently #1 golfer in the world.
The LPGA recognized that. Sponsors recognize that. Every corporation with a marketing department recognizes that. They need someone who moves tickets, sells merchandise, and keeps the web buzzing. Aja Wilson, with all her skill, has not been that figure. She is admired, but she's not a headline-generating force. Caitlin Clark is a content engine, and that makes some of these veterans furious. Now let's review the numbers. The rumor being passed around is that the LPGA contract is valued at about $6 to $8 million over 2 years. It covers brand appearances, several cross-promotions, and a joint media venture with Titleist and Nike Golf. Caitlin Clark is so good, she has me watching golf now. And because of her, I know who Nelly Korda is. And if there is one thing that is certain with Clark, it's that she'll bring a following from the hardwood to the fairways. So yes, Clark is now the link between basketball and golf, a two-sport marketing juggernaut, and you can practically hear Aja grinding her teeth in Las Vegas, as this isn't the first instance Clark has overshadowed her. Let's rewind. Recall the WNBA Finals media attention last year. The Aces claimed another title, but Clark was the #1 trending name on social media that very day. That is the type of situation that can morph respect into resentment. Making it worse, the fans continually add fuel to the fire. Some of Clark's fans do not just praise her, they use her triumphs to put others down. Remarks like, "She's the true face of the WNBA," or "She's done more for the league than anybody." Now those statements may hold statistical weight, but they are also pouring gasoline on an already raging ego war. So when Aja saw the LPGA news, she lost it. Not overtly enough for a fine, but just enough to make a point, and that point was unmistakable. "I am done being the MVP who's treated like a supporting cast member." But here's the ironic part. Caitlin Clark has never fired back, not even one time. She won't tweet about it, throw shade, or even recognize the drama. This is a reason brands adore her. She's a public relations fantasy, polished, driven, and uncontroversial. Meanwhile, others are ensnared in Twitter spats and alienate sponsors. Caitlin continues to ink deals and stay quiet. And that silence is more painful than any insult could ever be, because Aja can capture another title, but Caitlin will get more press for hitting a golf ball on social media. That is the marketing power gap. It is unjust, but it is reality. Even non-basketball fans are weighing in. Golf enthusiasts are celebrating the collaboration, suggesting Clark's charisma could finally elevate the LPGA. At the same time, some traditional WNBA fans are dismissive, saying she's everywhere except the postseason. The divide is widening and the league senses. Now here is where it becomes even more compelling. The LPGA partnership was not spontaneous, it was a meticulously orchestrated plan, developed over months. The story is, Nike facilitated a piece of the deal. They aimed to craft an athlete crossover persona, and Caitlin Clark was the ideal candidate. The reason? She already signifies something beyond just basketball. She signifies buzz. Any league that aligns with her instantly gets more traffic, more engagement, and higher merchandise sales. So as a business decision, it is brilliant. But on the WNBA's end, it is pure chaos. Aja Wilson's annoyance reflects what many players are privately feeling, that Caitlin's international celebrity is not being distributed equitably through the league. It is as if the Caitlin Clark phenomenon boosted the WNBA, but just for a select few. The rest are still waiting for their ship to come in. And now that she is expanding her reach past basketball, some athletes feel utterly abandoned. They're out there battling for bonuses and minor marketing deals, while Caitlin signs multi-million-dollar contracts in another sport entirely. That is the kind of thing that builds tension in locker rooms, in press conferences, and at league functions. Players feel like accessories in the Caitlin show, and the fans pick up on that vibe. Now let's discuss how Aja's tweet escalated further. Within a few hours, she was trending, and not positively. People called her resentful, envious, and insecure. Some even drew parallels to those who griped when Tiger Woods first smashed golf records, saying, "Here it is again, a star upset at another's success." That parallel stung. Aja attempted to retract it later, claiming her tweet was misinterpreted and that she was only kidding. But by then, the internet had made up its mind about her intent. And we know how social media is. Once sides are chosen, the discussion devolves into a circuit. Half the posts were defending Caitlin as if she were a national monument. The other half was reminding the world that Wilson remains one of the greatest ever. But here is the reality. Both statements can be factual. Caitlin Clark can be the most marketable star today, and A'ja Wilson can simultaneously feel undervalued. The issue lies in how the league manages that dynamic, or fails to. The WNBA champion's growth, yet its own stars feud instead of lifting each other up, and the league allows it because conflict generates clicks. If the WNBA had a competent PR team, they would have instantly spun this into a marketing victory. Look at two phenomenal athletes excelling in their fields. Instead, it became another Caitlin versus A'ja battle on social media. And you can be sure sponsors took note. Brands prefer happy, unified representatives, not messy drama. But they also understand that each time Caitlin Clark trends, their items fly off the shelves. So who comes out on top? Yes, Caitlin yet again. And here's the plot twist. Sources near the LPGA suggest this partnership could be the beginning of something far greater. They hope to create a joint exhibition where WNBA and LPGA players team up for charity. The goal is to highlight cross-sport camaraderie. But given the current climate, it could be the most uplifting event ever, or a complete tension-filled mess. Can you picture Caitlin Clark teeing off beside Nelly Korda as A'ja Wilson forces a smile for the camera? Yes, that is prime meme content for the year. But frankly, this is not a new phenomenon. We have seen this type of envy before, across all sports. When LeBron James became the NBA's new face, veteran stars were not exactly thrilled. When Serena Williams began to corner tennis endorsements, her peers were not happy. It's the same pattern. Success creates money, money creates attention, and attention creates jealousy. A'ja is just the latest star trapped in that emotional whirlwind. And the truly unfortunate part is, she doesn't see how much she reinforces Caitlin's worth with every reaction. The more she is discussed, the more prominent she becomes. It's the Streisand effect applied to sports stardom. Complain about a person enough, and you make them even more famous. All the while, Caitlin Clark has remained silent. No press, no retorts, just business as usual. She's likely somewhere chuckling with her agent, signing another contract as the internet continues to battle on her behalf. And in all honesty, that may be the most brilliant strategy, because while people debate who deserves what, she is accumulating wealth from numerous sectors: basketball, golf, fashion, technology. The next thing you know, she will have a Netflix docus or a Nike documentary. Caitlin Clark is not just participating in the game, she is redefining how it is marketed. And A'ja Wilson? She is still trying to comprehend why her 2 MVP awards do not yield the same dividends. It's not because A'ja lacks talent, she is phenomenal. It is because Caitlin possesses what every corporation desires: visibility. She is the person you can shape a brand around. Her following is dedicated, vocal, and constantly engaged online. That is pure gold in 2025. So as A'ja complains on Twitter, Caitlin constructs an empire, one sponsorship at a time. But the pressing question remains, how long can this friction continue before it erupts into something worse? Because this is no longer just about A'ja and Caitlin. The entire dynamic has the potential to fracture the league. You have the veteran players who feel Clark's rise was too effortless. Then there are the new fans who believe the league's resurgence is solely due to her. And in the middle is the WNBA leadership, acting as if everything is fine while quietly hoping the feud continues. Because at least it generates attention. It is chaotic. It is dramatic. It is precisely what keeps the news cycle churning. But if the WNBA cannot learn to handle this, they risk demolishing the very unity they have worked years to foster. Because no matter your opinion of Caitlin Clark, you must admit she has grown the league to unprecedented level. The task now is to ensure that everyone reaps the rewards, not solely her. As for A'ja Wilson, she has 2 paths: continue posting tweets that make her seem resentful, or change course and leverage the spotlight. Because at this moment, she is trending because of Clark. And that is not where an MVP wants to be in the news. If she is shrewd, she will convert this into a power play, sign her own massive deal, start a podcast, launch her own brand, anything. prove that she is more than just the player who got upset online. Because while fans appreciate authenticity, they dislike pettiness. And currently, she is walking that very thin line. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark just continues to succeed on and off the court. The LPGA partnership is simply another stone in her expanding empire. And whether you like her or not, she is mastering the fame game. You cannot coach that level of poise. She is making silence a strategy and turning criticism into buzz. And if Aja Wilson fails to adjust soon, she will continue to be lost in the commotion. So what is your opinion? Does Aja Wilson have a right to be upset, or is Caitlin Clark simply outmaneuvering everyone off the court as well? Leave your thoughts in the comments section. I'm eager to read them. If you liked this analysis, please hit like, subscribe, and share. We have many more wild stories headed your way.